Hello and welcome. Our top story is from war-torn Sudan. The paramilitary RSF has taken control of the country's strategic oil field, forcing army personnel and oil workers to withdraw into neighbouring South Sudan. The RSF took control of the strategic Heglig Oilfield in the South Kordofan province on Monday. Social media footage showed RSF soldiers celebrating and shooting guns. Reportedly, government forces and workers were forced to leave the area on Sunday to avoid clashes that could have damaged the oil facility. The Heglig Oilfield is near the border with South Sudan in the South Kordofan. The region has become the epicentre of the Sudanese civil war after the RSF took control of the entire Darfur region in the west of the country in October. The RSF's seizing of the Heglig Oilfield is not just a blow for the Sudanese Army, but also for neighbouring South Sudan. The country held on to most of Sudan's fossil fuel deposits after seceding from it in 2011. Heglig houses the main processing facility for South Sudanese oil, which makes up much of the revenue for South Sudan's government. The Sudanese paramilitary RSF and the regular army have been at war since April 2023. The brutal civil war has killed tens of thousands of people, displaced 12 million residents, and devastated the country's infrastructure. The conflict in Sudan is one of the wars that US President Donald Trump has vowed to end. Trump's ambition to win a Nobel Peace Prize is well known. In the latest move, his administration has imposed sanctions on a network that allegedly hired Colombian fighters for Sudan's paramilitary. Washington claimed that since at least 2024, hundreds of former Colombian military personnel have travelled to Sudan to fight alongside the RSF, which the US has accused of committing genocide. However, Trump's peacemaking efforts are not proving to be of much help. Last month, the US, the UAE, Egypt and Saudi Arabia had proposed a peace plan to end the conflict. The RSF responded by saying it had accepted the plan, but soon after attacked army territory with a barrage of drone strikes. Whereas the Sudanese army chief rejected the truce proposal altogether, citing the UAE's involvement. The UAE has long been accused of funding and arming the RSF. However, the Gulf nation has denied all allegations. As the clashes between the Sudanese army and the RSF intensify, it is the civilians who continue to bear the brunt of it. And for more on this, we have with us Meki El-Maghrabi, an international affairs expert, joining us live from Cairo, Egypt. Welcome to Firstpost Africa.
Thank you, Joshua, and good to see you again.
Absolutely. Meki, does the oil field capture provide the RSF with the upper hand in this brutal civil war moving forward?
Not at all. No upper hand. Starting from the time that RSF militia started to import mercenaries, that means they don't have internal support. So after that, claiming any national cause or that they have a political project, if they have political project, they need to have some support internal. So even they don't have tribal support. So the issue of importing militia from outside Sudan, from Colombia, Ukraine, actually not imported, shipped and sponsored by UAE and sent to Sudan. And by the way, I don't use the word control because the word RSF control gives you sense of governance or sense of adjusting things. But in the case of RSF, I use the word deployment. They just deploy their elements and then the mess will happen in the area.
And Meki, after failed efforts to broker a ceasefire from nations including the US, do you think this latest development could speed up international peace efforts, given that it's not just influencing the country of Sudan?
International peace efforts, or the effort to stop the militia, connected to another factor now. The Saudi Arabia efforts and the shift in the policy of United States after the meeting between the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, and Trump in the White House. Actually, now the battlefield is not just Sudan, or the battleground is not just Sudan. What is happening now is just like the 7 years war between in Europe. They have different battlegrounds in Europe, in India, in America. So what is happening now, war in Sudan is part of the war. War in Yemen is part of the war. War in Libya, and even they try to harass Algeria. So now Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Eritrea, on most of the country of the region, siding against UAE and Chad and other countries that attacking Yemen, Sudan, Libya, and others. So now we have different definition for the war in Sudan.
And Meki, to finish this discussion, of course, amid continued fighting, what does that mean for the people of Sudan who have been in the grips of this devastating war?
People of Sudan, they practice politics and they involve in wider debate in social media. And now they have chosen 13th of December movement, which is the greatest movement and demonstration will be in all the capitals of Europe and North America and in Sudan and Arab countries. People of Sudan, they have chosen now to take the street and to reject any UAE intervention and accusing UAE of being enemy of Sudan and rejecting any settlement with RSF. And that happened after a deeper and wider discussion between Sudanese activists and Sudanese friends. And things happened, the massacre of Fashir, and after that, the shift in United States position. Also, we cannot forget the article of Burhan that published in the Wall Street Journal. It was well articulated and well expressed article and reached some American friends and European friends. So people of Sudan now have chosen to take the street in 13th of December to reject any weak and evil peace effort that covered by peace efforts, but it is not peace in actual.
Yes, and we will continue to monitor all of the developments in Sudan here on First Post Africa. Meki El-Maghrabi will be staying with us as we look at further developments in the continent.
I was born into revolution. I inherited power like a crown. What I delivered was isolation. I built a personality cult that touched every home. Millions suffered hunger under my rule, but no one dared to speak. I ruled from palaces. My people queued for rice. I called myself the dear leader. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?